Evelyn Lancaster had always been told her life was a privilege. She was born into the kind of old money that draped itself in pearls and shame. Rosevale Manor, with its long corridors and endless portraits of unsmiling ancestors, was less a home and more a monument to duty. Her mother, Genevieve Lancaster, was a statue come to life, poised, untouchable, and cold. Her father, Jonathan, was rarely home, always abroad, always busy. And Evelyn, their only child, became a silent echo within a house built for ghosts. Every spring, the magnolia tree in the southern garden bloomed crimson. Unlike the white or pink blooms in neighboring estates, this tree bore flowers that looked like velvet blood. Legend had it that her great-great-grandmother planted it the day her lover died in war, watering it with tears and secrets. Evelyn believed it. There was something sorrowful in the way those petals opened to the world, wide and trembling, like hearts waiting to be broken. At 16, Evelyn met Lucien Hawthorne. He was the gardener's boy, hired after the last one had run off. The manor staff said little about Lucien's past, but Evelyn noticed the way he walked, like someone who had spent too much time being small. He was lean, with storm-gray eyes and a scar that ran from the corner of his lip to the middle of his jaw. Some said he'd been in a knife fight. Others said it was an accident. Evelyn never asked. She liked the mystery of it. They met in the garden, both watching the magnolia tree bloom. "You don't look like you belong here," she said. Lucien smiled faintly. "Neither do you." That was the beginning. They met often after that, early mornings before the maids woke, lazy afternoons when the heat silenced everything, and twilight hours when the world was between light and dark. They talked about books, dreams, the sea. Lucien spoke of becoming a sailor, leaving the land behind. Evelyn, who had never stepped beyond the iron gates without a chaperone, spoke of Parisian cafés and the smell of city rain. "What if we left?" she asked one day, their fingers nearly touching beneath the magnolia tree. "And go where?" "Anywhere." He looked at her then, truly looked. "You don't understand what it means to have nothing, Evelyn." She straightened. "And you don't understand what it means to have everything and still feel trapped." They kissed for the first time that evening, the sun sinking behind the manor's spires, bathing the world in crimson light. It was a kiss that tasted of longing and rebellion, a silent promise to rewrite their stories. But the world does not bend for love. Not easily. Their affair did not go unnoticed. Whispers began among the staff, glances were exchanged in corridors, and Genevieve began to watch Evelyn with sharper eyes. One night, during a charity gala at Rosevale, Genevieve summoned Evelyn to the drawing room. Her mother stood like a statue beside the fireplace, dressed in black silk, a glass of untouched wine in hand. "I know," she said without turning. Evelyn's breath caught. "Know what?" Genevieve turned slowly, eyes cold. "About the gardener. About your fantasies." Evelyn's heart pounded. "I love him." Genevieve laughed, low and bitter. "You are a Lancaster. You do not love the help. You marry dukes, ambassadors, men with titles and fortunes. Not orphans with dirt under their nails. He's more of a man than any of the ones you parade around at your dinners." A slap cracked the air. Evelyn's cheek stung, but she did not cry. Her eyes burned with something deeper, resolve. "I will not end up like you," she whispered. "Dead inside, behind beautiful walls." Genevieve's face softened for a flicker of a moment. "Then run," she said. "But if you do, you will never come back. The world will not welcome you kindly." That night, Evelyn packed a small case. Letters. A pearl brooch. Her favorite book. She wore a simple dress, no jewelry. She left through the garden gate, where Lucien waited beneath the magnolia tree. He took her hand without a word, and they ran. 2 years later. The sea was not kind. Lucien worked on ships, loading cargo, taking odd jobs, while Evelyn took to sewing, reading palms, even writing small poems for local papers. They traveled across coastal towns, lived in shared rooms, and counted coins to eat. But they were free. Until Lucien fell ill. It started with coughing. Then fever. Then blood. The doctor said it was consumption. Curable, maybe. But expensive. Evelyn sold everything she had. She worked double shifts at a textile mill. She stopped eating. But it wasn't enough. One night, Lucien turned to her, hollow-eyed, and whispered, "Take me home." She froze. Home? To the magnolia tree. I want to see it one last time. Evelyn returned to Roseville a week later with a dying man in her arms. The gatekeeper almost didn't let her in. Her clothes were rags. Her hands blistered. But her eyes, those unmistakable Lancaster eyes, forced the gate open. Genevieve met her on the porch, a shawl draped elegantly around her shoulders. "I told you," she said. Evelyn held her ground. "He's dying. Please." For the first time in her life, Genevieve said nothing. Just nodded. They laid Lucien beneath the magnolia tree. Evelyn sat beside him, holding his hand, singing softly. The petals were falling, red, like drops of blood on grass. Lucien smiled weakly. "I never thought I'd die in a garden." "You're not dying," she whispered. "You're blooming." He laughed softly. Always the poet. His eyes drifted shut before sunset. Evelyn buried him there, beneath the magnolia tree, in a grave marked by a single stone she carved herself, Lucien Hawthorne, loved, brave, free. Genevieve watched from the porch, silent. After the service, she offered Evelyn her room back. "I have no claim to this place anymore," Evelyn replied. "You have every claim," Genevieve said, voice almost breaking. "You're still my daughter." Evelyn looked at her mother then, not as a girl sees a mother, but as a woman sees another woman. "Then let me live like one," she said. Years later. Rosevale Manor changed. The portraits were taken down. The halls filled with laughter again. Evelyn turned the West Wing into a home for orphans, those with nowhere to go, no names to wear. And every spring, the magnolia bloomed crimson, its petals whispering the story of a girl who ran, a boy who dreamed, and a love that dared to bloom where it should have withered. Underneath that tree, Evelyn would sit with the children, telling them stories. Not of dukes and titles. But of freedom. And of magnolias.